Hi everyone, Rachel from Desert Blossom Crafts here. Today I'm excited to share this cute cross pattern with you. I don't know about you, but as a Christian I've always been on the lookout for different crochet patterns that will go well with my faith. And while there are a lot of cross patterns out there, none of them really ever jived with my idea of what one should look like. So I finally decided to create my own. This is not a lacy cross like you often see in crochet. It's more of meant to represent the actual cross. You can see I've made one in 3 different sizes. They're made pretty much in the exact same way, just with different yarn and hooks, and with a few stitches added for the larger ones. You can literally work one of these up in a matter of minutes. They go so fast, and they're great for appliques or decoration. This large one could work as like with a loop around it as an ornament or some kind of wall hanging, I guess. Easter is right around the corner, and my hope and prayer is that these crosses will draw you nearer to the true meaning of Easter, which is what this cross represents, that Jesus died on the cross for our sins, but he did not stay dead, he was risen, and that is why I will always celebrate when I see an empty cross, because Jesus did not stay dead, he is risen, and my hope and prayer is that these crosses will just bring you closer to your Savior this Easter and just remind you of the hope of the gospel. So with that said, let's dive right into the pattern and the materials. Each of these crosses uses a different yarn, as I said. So the large one uses a bulky weight yarn number 6. I can't quite remember the name of it right at this second, but if I do remember it, I will have the information down in the description box. This one uses worsted weight. The name of the yarn is Mary Maxim Woodland. So this one kind of has a more fuzzy look because of the yarn. I do really like the way it looks in this yarn. And then finally, this tiny one over here is made with a sock yarn, Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. So as I said, the pattern for these is largely the same. There are some differences, like a few added stitches. So once you watch the tutorial, make sure and check out the description box for the link to the written pattern so you can make each size. I'm just going to show you how to make this version. But like I said, these two are similar, so once you get the concept, all you'll need is the written pattern to finish making the other two. So here I have my Mary Maxim Mellow Spun yarn, and I made a slip knot, and I'm just using an H crochet hook for the medium size cross. Now to get started, I'm going to make a row of foundation single crochet, and this is actually going to form the long part of the cross right here. So this is important. If you're not familiar with foundation single crochet, I do have a full tutorial on it, but I'll pretty much show you how to do it here. So I'm going to start by chaining 2, insert your hook into the second chain and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2. So there we've made our first foundation single crochet. Basically what this is just making the single crochet and the chain at the exact same time. So now I'm going to insert my hook into the chain right here, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and there's the second one that's made. So I'm just going to go ahead and make 11 foundation single crochet. So there's my 3rd one, 4th, and this is one of the things that's different for each pattern. Obviously the number is going to be slightly different, so if you want to make a different size cross, make sure and check out the written pattern. Okay, so here I have my 11 foundation single crochet. The next step is we are going to turn and slip stitch down this side before going out to the first side for the first side of the cross. So there went my yarn. That's okay. So I'm going to slip stitch in the same stitch that I just did my foundation single crochet. So here's my single crochet, here's like the chain that I made with the foundation stitch. And I'm gonna go right into this one, but I'm gonna catch this loop and the loop right underneath it. I just found I like the way this looks, and it makes the top a little sturdier. So just like that. Then I'm going to pull it a little bit tighter. It'll just make the top look neat. And then we're going to slip stitch in the next 4 foundation single crochet. So I'm going to go right here, and for these loops you can just go in the top chain type loop. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have a total of 5 slip stitches here, but 4 of them are in that top loop like I kind of just described. So now we're ready to start making the first side of the cross. I'm going to chain 5 here, just like that, and then we're going to work back across this chain. So I'm going to single crochet in the second chain for my hook, and in the next 3 chains. 2, 3, and 4. So you should have 4 single crochet on each side. So now here we are back at the center. So if I turn this around, this is kind of what it should be looking like. And what we're going to do is slip stitch right here in the center before going and making the other side. So I'm going to insert my hook again. Now I found that I didn't like the way it looked if I slip stitched right here, because that's where I did the previous slip stitch. So I'm just going to kind of find a place to put my hook right around here. So you want it to line up with where this last slip stitch was, kind of in the very center of, let's see, if I grab the other one, in the very center where you want these to meet. And we are going to do a few slip stitches there, so don't worry if it doesn't look perfect right off the bat. So I'm just going to go about right here. You can see, kind of in the center of this foundation stitch. Pull up a loop and slip stitch. Alright, so here we have the first one, and this will start to come together as we keep going, so don't worry if it looks a little weird. Now we're going to chain 5 again to make the other side. So we're literally just making the other side right off from where we made the last one. And we're going to do the same thing, single crochet in the second chain from hook, and the next 3. Here's my last chain. Okay, so now we've gotten back here, and this is probably the trickiest part, is just kind of securing this in a way that it's not really lopsided, because if you notice, the way this ends up, one of the sides ends up being the opposite from the other side. So this one is technically right side up, and this one is upside down. That's okay, that's how I intended it to be. So now we're just going to slip stitch in the center here to kind of get it to look even all the way across. So I'm just going to insert my hook kind of in the middle of the slip stitch that I did in the center before, but I'm just going to go all the way down, pull my yarn through, and then make another slip stitch there. Okay, and so from there, that kind of secures both of the sides together. And the next thing, we're going to make probably one more slip stitch. You can kind of see the goal here is to get to the place where we can slip stitch down the other side of this. That's going to be how we finish it. So you probably will just want to do one more slip stitch about here before we go into here. So the goal here is just to make the center look nice. If you want to add another slip stitch somewhere, that's fine too. But I'm gonna go right here underneath the one I just did. Let's see, so under and through the back. So here's what it looks like from the front and then the back. And then I'm just gonna pull my yarn through again and slip stitch, and you are gonna probably want to pull these slip stitches kind of tight. And now I'm just gonna see how it looks when I go into the next foundation single crochet here. Let's see how this looks. So once you do that slip stitch, you kind of want to step back and evaluate. Yeah, so there we've kind of gotten that nice pinched look in the center, if you will. So if I bring this one back, you can see how it just kind of looks like all the different sides come together in the center right there. And that's the goal. That's what you're going for. So now you're just going to slip stitch down the rest of the foundation row to make it look like the top. So go in here, and you just want these slip stitches to look somewhat even, so not not like some loose or some tight. You want it to just look even and nice. So here I have the last one, and then to finish this off, I'm just gonna go kind of right here. So if I show you from here, that's technically the last foundation stitch, but I'm gonna go close to where the knot is also, just to make it finished off here. One last slip stitch. Be careful not to grab that last knot. Okay. And then I'm just gonna pull that tight and cut my yarn. So there is the finished cross. So you can see we just create these two sides at the same time, and then we kind of use some slip stitches to pinch them together. That's pretty much all there is to making one of these crosses. So the only difference in the other sizes, for example, the larger one starts with more foundation stitches, and then it also leaves more stitches here and does more stitches across for the sides. But overall, the concept is exactly the same. You're doing the same thing in the center here to kind of pinch everything together. So I hope you guys enjoyed this pattern. If you want to make the small and large ones, make sure and check out the written pattern. But yeah, like I said, this works up super fast. It obviously took longer because I was showing you how to do it, but when I make one of these, it takes me like 3 minutes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the pattern. I hope that you're able to make one of these for Easter to celebrate Christ's resurrection. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you around the channel more.